Ladies and bitches, it is that time again. We're gonna try to beat this game in fucking under 2 hours and 20 minutes. And if we don't, then I swear to God, I swear to fuck, we're gonna try it again. I know this is crazy, everybody, but I'm not a Pokemon fan. I've never played any of its games. I'm a little bit of a Chad. I've had sex before. I'm real as fuck. You're coming to the internet and saying that fuck is real, I think it's kind of a legit okay version. Listen, we just talked about this. I had the sex once, okay? So I'm not technically a virgin. And you know what? It was with a woman. Now I know you gotta pick up your fucking undropped balls from that one. That's you both said that. It's true. Women are gay, and that's why. Rings of Saturn is tough because I really appreciate the technical aspect of it, but it starts to kind of enter that realm of just like making music for like musicians or like super refined ears, because like I feel like it just doesn't really feel musical to me a lot of the time. I don't know. A lot of people think like Lucas fakes all of his stuff, and I don't necessarily believe that. I think he can actually play that stuff. I think he'll like heavily edit his DIs, but there's kind of like a whole conversation behind like whether or not it's like cheating. I personally believe, and maybe this is a controversial, cancelable take, but I don't think cheating exists in music. Like I've always been of the mindset that like if you think something you're doing is cheating, then you're cheating the song out of being as good as it possibly can be. But my problem with Rings of Saturn is I think you can definitely make musicality out of that like virtuosic level of playing. I think the person who does that the best is probably Jason Richardson. And the thing is, like, most artists these days program their drums. I mean, drums are both the easiest and the hardest thing to program. When you hit a bass drum with a beater, it's always hitting the same fucking spot. It's always going to make the same fucking sound. The only difference is going to be velocity, which you can control with programming. Snare drum, more or less the same thing. Something that we do for Thunder Forge is I'll sit down with Zach and we'll figure out what the drums have to sound like, and we'll write them out. We'll program everything out, and then we record the guitars to that, and then drums is actually like the last thing we record. So most of the shells and stuff for drums, you know, you're way better off just fucking programming them anyway. But the one thing that I still don't think is quite there is fucking cymbals, because the way a cymbal will like reverberate in a room is so important to how that cymbal sounds, and it's so hard to replicate that. A lot of these like programs that, you know, plugins, virtual instruments that do drums will have a room mic. Like the one I use has a room mic, but like as soon as you call like editing DI, which is what editing DI is, for those who don't know, it's like, so you play the guitar into the computer, right? Using like a box that records the guitar input. And all you get is like the audio form of like just the plink, plink, plink. Just, it sounds like acoustic. And then being able to like move the hits to be more or less on, you know, rhythm or whatever. So a lot of people would say like that's cheating. I don't think it's cheating. I actually think that there's some element of it where you don't want to edit it so fucking crazy, because at a certain point it starts to sound like Rings of Saturn, which I feel like his stuff, when I say heavily edited, it feels like it's all edited to a grid. And maybe that's just because he plays that crazy. I think it's unlikely, but possible. The second that you say DI guitar is cheating, like I feel like you have to say programming drums is cheating, and there's all this cheating, you know? And at a certain point, it's just like the fucking big producers who make all your favorite fucking albums, they're not stopping from doing the things that they want to do because it's cheating. If they can play it, why do they need to not edit it? You know what I mean? Like, what if they can play it and then they can make it sound better? It's just like one way to make it sound better, in my opinion. You know, when you submit your music to Spotify, they don't say like, oh, it seems like there was hacking involved here or something, you know? Your transients are too perfect. We can't accept this song. I mean, there is like a lot to it too, where it's just like, even if all of your transients are perfectly gridded, there's also like so many other things of like dynamics, like how like your sustains that are all variable. There's a place where that argument ends up that I don't like. you know, when you start talking about like whether or not like auto-tune is cheating, that's always the thing too, because like people think all pitch correction is auto-tune, and it's not. Like what people are talking about is the stuff that like literally just automatically changes your pitch to be more correct. I actually see a lot more producers using actual auto-tune, which is interesting. But like what they'll do is like, you know, like it more seems for like if they have like a singer who's like really fucking good and they just want to like push it just ever so more slightly toward perfect. You can't melodyne the performance aspect. Like you would rather the performance be good than you would want the pitch to be good. The pitch would bother you more, I think. But like what actually like makes a song good is the performance of it. And you can't auto-tune that. You can't auto-tune a good performance. And maybe like people would say like, oh, what's the difference between pitch and performance? Like when you're singing, it's just all about like singing it on the right note. It's not. Like there's a lot of variable things to a voice. And we have some tools too, like formant shifting can do some cool stuff, but still it's not enough to really like completely save terribly recorded thing, even if it's on pitch. And I always think about like T-Pain, like, cause like if you've ever heard T-Pain sing without autotune, he's phenomenal. His singing voice is so fucking good. And like everyone always says like, oh, I sound like T-Pain or whatever. That was a stylistic choice to just like rock his voice. And it's one that like people often emulate. I don't know. It's just like, it's almost just like utilizing the tools to kind of like make better music. And I think that's what it's all about. Cause like the same people who like bitch and complain about like, oh, DI editing is cheating. Oh, fucking, you know, autotune is cheating, are the same people that get mad at the fucking boomers who are just like, oh, all music has sucked since Elvis. But in a weird way, it's kind of the same thing, because a lot of people who liked Elvis didn't just like stop and say like, oh, after that everything just went to shit, you know, like they adapted. It's the same thing that's going to be with AI. It's like there's going to be a lot of people who are like, oh, AI is terrible, AI is bad, and then essentially like get left behind, because the future is going to be not AI replacing everything, it's just going to be used to augment what we already have. If you have technology and resources, why not use them? Because a bunch of people who are afraid and self-conscious are going to make you feel bad about using those tools. That's how it be. It's Grimer! Please, ma'am, let me hold up your titties. Do you remember me? I'm a tier 3 sub. This is looking rough. Yeah. Might have to go in Pokemon Center this. It's a world record attempt. Yeah, every run is a world record attempt. That unit doesn't care that I'm just like mashing buttons on her. Girl knows how to make me suffer. I know. Got a tattoo of her on my fucking body. She still wants to end my life. The Pokemon Company themselves is fucking... they got a fucking Pokemon card with fucking Misty naked on it. Didn't they censor that card? Yeah. I mean, she's still naked. Sure, people were still like, I can't believe they took a 10-year-old and fucking made her naked. 10-year-olds are never supposed to be naked. Strange that they put a 10-year-old naked on a card and she wasn't shot on sight. Gary, your Pokemon seeded me, you sick fuck. Heard there was a cut master. You're just ignoring the fact that I just beat your ass. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, you know, there's a guy and, you know, he's kind of a bitch. I think he wakes up thrashing, right? Yeah. I love that. You do thrash and get put to sleep. You just wake up and start thrashing again if you never fucking went to sleep. Anyway, so I started thrashing. A woman! Jigglypuff! What? She's good. She's upset I'm talking about women. She's just like, I'm a woman. You're not a woman. We thrash women in this house. Yeah, you don't even have a pussy anymore. We took it out. Can't be a woman. Can't be a woman and never be able to pee. Maybe one day you'll get your pussy removed and you can no longer be a woman. I revoke it, class. I relinquish this pussy, for it no longer serves me. I banish this pussy from whence it came. Do you lose money when you lose? I guess you do, don't you? 50%? Wait, you lose 50% of your money? Of all the money you have? No, I didn't know that. I told you I'm not a Pokemon fan. I don't know any of this shit. That's why I'm always afraid to fucking say anything, because people are like, you fucking idiot. You didn't know that you lose in Pokemon, they come and fuck your mom immediately? Well, apparently you lose 50% of your money when you lose a fucking Pokemon battle. Apparently I never knew. And you know, wanna know why I never knew? Because I never fucking lose. It's not true. It just felt cool to say that. I'm already 7 minutes red. Ugh, it's awful. We're getting to the point where it's just like, there's no way it can even fucking be under a 230 because of, I didn't do that. Did it just move me automatically? That's fucking weird. Maybe I should stop using this thing to control the game. I think I gotta let this one die, guys. I don't fucking know, man. I just ordered the controller that you guys recommended, and I'll have it for Tuesday, and we can see if it's any easier. Give it a good try. I really tried to get that first run all the way through, man, but man, I just completed 2 hard tasks today. Why is my brain not rewarding me with dopamine? Probably because you masturbate too much. All right, guys, I wish I could have played better. I wish the RNG could have been better. It wasn't all just RNG. I also played like shit today. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I woke up way earlier than I usually do, and I'm a lot more tired than I usually am around this time. So we'll hit it again on Tuesday, and I don't know, we'll do a shitload of coke beforehand. Okay, bye-bye!